Welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you latest updates on all things Ravens. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the videos. Let's dive into it. And I love this one, okay? Love it in a way where I get to trash our rival team. So let's dive into it. Okay, so Ravens apparently are named the losers in the latest Steelers trade, where the Steelers traded Micah Fitzpatrick, their all-star safety, all-pro safety, to the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith in a 7th-round draft pick. And apparently, Ravens are the losers in this because now the Ravens are up against a great defense or whatever, like one of the best defenses the Steelers have had in a long time. It's like you have Aaron Rodgers, an old quarterback who should have retired after last season. You have DK Metcalf, and that's it. Like there's nothing for me as a Ravens fan to say, oh, the Steelers are going to be a tough matchup this season. This is going to be tough. This is just, for me, it's like just putting more dirt on the grave for right now. The Ravens are not the losers at all in that trade. Simply, I mean, it would have been great if the Ravens had picked up Jalen Ramsey, but simply because there's just that, the Steelers don't have an offense. They're not fixing the holes that need to be fixed. They're going to rely on an old quarterback, DK Metcalf, to carry the offense. Like, who's their running back? I don't even know. It's like, how are the Ravens losers in this situation? The Ravens have on paper the best defense, or top 2 best defenses in the NFL, and one of the best offenses in the NFL. So just relax. Like, oh my Lord. It's just, there's no way that the Ravens should be afraid of, or any fan should be afraid of, this Steelers team after that trade. So the Ravens are not the losers in this trade. Really, the only loser in this trade is Mike Tomlin, because, he has to work with what he has pretty much, and it's not going to be good. Moving on again to another former Steeler and former Raven, but we're not going to talk about that. Well, we actually are going to talk about it a little bit, but we're not going to give any praise to him. Alejandro Villanueva, former Steelers offensive tackle, insulted the Ravens pass rush, saying how there's no challenge there when he played against the Ravens. And, he mentioned how Suggs was in his, twilight years as a Raven when he was a Steeler, and there was no fear for him against the Ravens pass rush. I'll give credit where credit is due. Villanueva was a good offensive tackle for the Steelers while he played on the Steelers. Then he came to the Ravens, where I'm pretty sure, positive in this conspiracy theory, that he was a sleeper agent, that he secretly was just put there and just didn't want to be there, didn't want to contribute anything for the team. He got replaced at one point by McCary during that season. He is the part of the reason Lamar Jackson got injured in the 2021 season. Why the injuries always mounted during that season. I am convinced he was a sleeper agent for the Steelers, and I will go to my grave with that he just did not want to be a Raven. Agent said, here's a deal for you. He said, okay, this is going to be a cash grab for me, but I'm still going to be loyal to the team that I was first drafted to, and mind you, he was played out of position on, but at the same time, played so horribly that he was replaced at the end. He was benched. And going to my grave with this, I take his criticism with a grain of salt. He screwed over the Ravens so many games that season, and I do not respect him at all, especially with the play that he had, or with his play that he came with when he was a Raven. Don't listen to Alejandro Villanueva. He has no idea what he's talking about. That's what I'm going with here. Moving on to a much not so lighter tone. Since the Dolphins had traded, for Micah Fitzpatrick, and they traded over Jalen Ramsey, they traded over Jonnu Smith. It's quite possible that, with rumors floating around with Andrews' trade, that the Miami could be looking for Mark Andrews and seeing if what the Ravens are willing to bite with. I mean, they gave up a tight end, so they need another tight end, I guess. So I think at that, for the right price, the Ravens could and the Dolphins could come to the table and see what can be offered and see if any deal could be made for Mark Andrews. Again, this is all speculative, all rumors, so bear with me. I think that, if a good deal comes to the table and the Dolphins are willing to make a good offer, then I think the Ravens should consider it. Like I've said in previous videos. Again, I've always been talking about the Andrews trade. I'm just going over any rumors and any speculative pieces now, with the AFC North being shaken up by the recent trade, and possibly, the Dolphins are not finished with their, marketing and looking for another tight end, which could be Mark Andrews. So it's something to think about, where, based on rumors, that there could be some draw to the table to see if the Ravens and Dolphins can come to an agreement for Mark Andrews, because again, Dolphins got rid of Jonnu Smith. It's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there, but again, rumors are rumors. Moving on to a much lighter tone here. Lamar Jackson was on Kevin Hart's YouTube show Cold Balls, I think it's called, and Hart had asked him a lot of questions about, his draft, how he felt during the draft, how the media questioned him as more of a wide receiver rather than a quarterback, and he had mentioned how he feels about a Super Bowl. Lamar is completely confident that the Ravens can win it all. He had stated that he has grown so much as a leader on this team, and that he's been trying to be a lot more vocal on the team. And now that he has had a few years under his belt in the league, and I feel like that he is in a lot better mental state than he was in the first few years in the league, and he's able to understand the pressure that comes with the playoffs, trying to get over the hump, and everything that involves getting to a Super Bowl. And he also mentioned that he has been much more vocal about standing up for himself, or providing his own opinion to the coaches, and that the coaches have been very receptive towards him on things that he feels like need change, or feels like the things that need to improve on. So this is great to hear from Lamar, and I'm really hoping that this is the year that the Ravens do win the Super Bowl. Thank you for tuning into Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later. Have a good one.